the chosen ones. This message is not by luck. If you're seeing this right now, it's because God is inviting you to step into your power and expose the truth about yourself. You have been chosen, and now it is time to let the world know. No matter the cost, the time for hiding is done. God is instructing you to loudly announce that you were chosen. No more holding back, no more fear. The moment has come to stand strong and show the world your genuine purpose. What you've been waiting for. Everything I'm praying for and hoping for is falling into place. But first, you must complete the final stage. Share your truth with everyone around you. Don't be concerned about those who doubt, mock, or question you. This is about you totally embodying your spiritual calling. When you make it public, God will do the rest, demonstrating to the world that you were chosen. Before we get into this life-changing lesson, pause the video and complete 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe to help us achieve 20,000 subscribers, then write a comment with the number 11. This number will send a strong signal to the cosmos, boosting the energy in this movie. Remember, if you are genuinely a chosen one, you will watch this video until the finish. Take a time to let this sink in. It is time for you to rise. Let's dig in. God is urging you to go into the light and openly announce that you have been chosen, regardless of what the world thinks. It doesn't matter how daunting the path appears or how much it costs. This is the time to stand tall and show everyone your divine destiny. God has placed something unique within you, and now is the moment to let that truth shine through, regardless of your concerns or dangers. Remember that this is not merely a personal assertion. It's about living out the purpose that God has precisely crafted for your life. When you reveal that you have been chosen, you are stepping into the power and destiny that God has put before you. You will not let anything or anybody stop you from revealing the world that you are chosen. You are not just a member of the crowd. You were selected for something higher. It's time to stand up and move boldly toward your mission. You may be afraid of being judged, rejected, or laughed at, but be assured that God's purpose for you is unstoppable. The world may mock you, but it is through your courage that God will demonstrate His strength when you proclaim your truth. You are showing the world that you believe in God's purpose for your life, regardless of the obstacles you confront. Have you ever questioned why you are hesitant to publicly disclose that you have chosen this? Why is it so tough to stand up and inform others that you have been chosen for something greater? Often, the explanation is fear. The dread that those closest to you may misunderstand, condemn, or forsake you. The fact is that when God calls you, it isn't always simple, and not everyone will understand. But ask yourself, why are you allowing fear to keep you silent? Is it because of what others might say or believe? It is time to ponder on the fact that God's viewpoint is the only one that matters. You were handpicked for a reason, and it is your obligation to share it with the world. The more you keep silent, the longer the world will be unaware of your divine calling. God's purpose for you is unique and meant to be shared. When you keep things in, you're not simply hiding it from the world. You're also restricting the influence it can have. So move forth with confidence, knowing that you've been chosen. This is not about gaining favor from others, but about respecting the Creator who has chosen you. One of the most significant barriers to pursuing our real purpose is fear. You may be thinking, what if I fail? What if they laugh at me? The anxiety of being ridiculed or rejected may be crippling. Remember, fear does not come from God. He has already given you all you need to walk in your mission. Consider the great leaders and visionaries throughout history. Many of them encountered derision, contempt, and mistrust. But what distinguished them was their unshakable faith in their calling. They opted to go with trust despite their trepidation. It was not always easy, but their bravery transformed the world. And you both have the same potential. Your announcement that you have chosen this might be the trigger for change, not just in your life, but also in the lives of others. When you hesitate to proclaim that you have chosen something, you give fear power. And it's time to reclaim that authority. By speaking up, you get control of your fate. Fear will attempt to hold you down. However, God's purpose is bigger when you choose to loudly declare that you have chosen this. You are choosing trust over fear and following the road that God has planned for you. God has given you a voice, and it is time to utilize it. Don't hold back any longer. Say it loudly. Speak freely. The world needs to hear your truth. Your purpose. When you speak up, you are declaring that you have been chosen. You're not simply validating your own identity. You are initiating a major spiritual transition. Your words are strong. They bear the weight of God's authority and the power of His purpose. It's time to let go of the fear of being judged and embrace the power of your voice. When you proclaim that you have chosen this, you are showing the world that you are not frightened to follow the road that God has set for you. No more lurking in the shadows. Step into the light and express your truth with conviction. Your bravery will motivate others to do the same. The more you say it, the more genuine it becomes. God's will is for you to bear testimony to His splendor. And this starts with your public proclamation. Don't allow fear deprive you of the strength that comes from speaking your truth. The world needs to know that you have been chosen, and God is waiting for you to go forth and announce it. It's easy to remain silent among people who question you, whether they're friends, family, or strangers attempting to pull you down. But God calls you to be courageous, even in the face of adversity. Your parents, friends, and detractors all need to hear your proclamation. When you make it public, you are not simply advocating for yourself. You are also stating that you believe in God's plan. You may fear the judgment of those who disbelieve or scorn you. However, remember to announce that you have been chosen. This does not require their consent. It is for God's glory and the accomplishment of His will in your life. When you loudly proclaim it, you will be surprised at how many others are moved. Those who disbelieve you now may be amazed at what God will do in your life tomorrow. This proclamation is not simply a statement. It is a challenge. You are pushing the world to perceive you as God does. For those who still do not believe, trust that God will reveal them in His own time. Your public statement of chosen. This is part of His divine plan. Rejection is one of many people's worst worries. The dread of being criticized, mocked, or ignored might make you hesitant to speak up. But God's message is plain. He has chosen you for a reason, and that objective cannot be hampered by the opinions of others. The dread of rejection will attempt to immobilize you, but you have to rise beyond it. When Jesus walked the earth, He was rejected by people who should have been His most loyal supporters. Nonetheless, He never wavered from His purpose. He continued going, knowing that His objective was more important than the views of people around Him. You must do the same. The truth. Your character is more essential than any criticism you may receive. And as you accept God's plan, you will watch how He transforms today's rejection into tomorrow's breakthrough. Remember that rejection does not determine your value. It sharpens your purpose. Every time you are mocked or judged, it is an opportunity for God's glory to show through your life. Don't allow the fear of rejection deter you. Accept your chosen path with pride, since you are a reflection of God's magnificence. Revealing your chosen. This isn't simply about informing the globe. It's about making a public proclamation that nothing can stop you from fulfilling your destiny. You are inviting God to intervene in every aspect of your life. This is an important moment. It is not about gaining attention. It's about carrying out God's plan. The impact of public revelation is clear. It affects everything in the spiritual realm. Your proclamation has the potential to impact your life. It's like a key that opens doors you didn't think possible. The world may not comprehend it right now, but when God's will is manifested in your life, even doubters will be in amazement that you have made your calling public. You are not just expressing your identity. You are assuming the almighty authority that God has given you. Public disclosure is not about gaining acceptance from others. It's about obeying God. When you bravely tell your truth, you're aligning yourself with His will. And believe me, when you do this, God will work miracles in your life and demonstrate His power to the world. There will always be naysayers, those who fail to recognize what God has placed within you. However, this does not imply that you should hide your light. You were chosen for a purpose, and now it's time to prove it to those who disbelieve. When you proudly announce that you have been chosen, you are not simply displaying to the world your divine calling. You are showing to the skeptics that God's power exists. God understands what you're going through. He understands the challenges, uncertainties, and difficulties you encounter each day. However, by proclaiming that you have chosen Him, you demonstrate to the world that you have faith in Him. When you walk out in trust, God will reveal Himself in ways that will leave the naysayers dumbfounded. Your forthright announcement is the first step in proving to everyone that you have been chosen by God. You do not need to persuade people with your words. Your life, deeds, and faith will speak louder than any argument could. God will accomplish the rest. You may be going through a difficult time in your life right now, coping with financial problems, health challenges, or emotional distress. However, don't let these obstacles prevent you from proclaiming your chosen course of action. God knows precisely where you are and what you are going through. He understands the long nights, worries, and disappointments. But God is teaching you right now that your troubles will not define you. When you admit that you have chosen this, you allow God to intervene and change the situation. Your proclamation is a demonstration of faith, which pleases God. Trust that when you announce that you have chosen this, He will move mountains on your behalf. Your difficulties are genuine, but God's strength becomes stronger as you step out in trust. You are showing the world that you think God can do the impossible in your life. People will always distrust you. There will always be people who doubt your purpose and potential. But God says today that He will prove them incorrect if you loudly announce that you have been chosen. He'll show the world that His plan for you is unstoppable. Trust God's timing. Trust that His plan for your life is ideal. You may not see the entire picture right now, but God does. He is working behind the scenes to convince your naysayers that what He has placed in you is genuine. Your faithfulness will be repaid, and those who derided you will be astounded by God's might. Trust that God will reveal Himself in ways that will leave everyone dumbfounded. You do not have to justify your objective. God will fight the war for you. When you proclaim that you have chosen this, you give Him permission to do miracles in your life. Doubt is natural. We all have moments when we wonder if we are really capable of fulfilling our purpose. But when you say you've chosen this, something spectacular happens. Doubt begins to diminish and trust begins to grow. When you speak the truth, you unleash a great spiritual force that drives doubt out and welcomes God's truth in. This act of proclamation is more than a mere statement. Speaking with conviction causes a shift in the environment. Your heart aligns with God's plan for your life. As you do this, your uncertainties will fall away, and God's promises will become more real than ever. Don't be scared to speak your truth, even when doubt creeps in. Trust that every word you say strengthens your faith and invites God to take the lead. The world will not know you've been chosen unless you tell them. Your voice, witness, and truth, they play an important role. It is not about bragging or attracting attention. It is about revealing the truth of God's purpose for your life. When you tell your truth, you give people the opportunity to witness God's power in action. How will others know you've been chosen? If you keep silent, your testimony might be the one that transforms someone's life. Do not hold back. Speak up and tell the world who you are and who God has called you to be. You were never intended to dwell in quiet. You were chosen. This is a gift, and the world needs to know about it. Do not deny people the opportunity to see God's magnificence through you. This is not only about you. This is about carrying out God's will for your life. God's purpose for you extends beyond your own aspirations and desires. It is part of a wider tale about changing the lives of others. When you announce that you have been chosen, you connect yourself with God's divine will. Nothing is more powerful than walking in His mission, revealing you're chosen. This is not simply an act of obedience. It is an invitation for God to work in your life. This proclamation is a key that unlocks doors, creates possibilities, and prepares the path for God to show up in powerful ways. When you embrace your divine calling, you connect with God's purpose for your life, and rewards will follow. Remember that God has given you all you need to achieve His will. You are not alone on this path. Believe that each step you take is part of His flawless plan. Making a public declaration that you have chosen us is more than simply making noise. It is also about positioning yourself for God's blessing and involvement. In this case, publicity does not mean wanting celebrity. It is about allowing God to work in miraculous ways. When you go out and announce that you've chosen this, you're paving the way for God to act in your life in ways that will surprise everyone. God works in His own time and method. Trust His method. Your announcement is part of His divine plan. And by speaking up, you allow Him to act at the appropriate time. It's not about making things happen. It's about trusting God's timing and letting Him work in your life in ways you never expected. God's intervention will amaze you and everyone around you. Trust that His plan is now unfolding, and your proclamation marks the first step toward witnessing His wonders come to reality. This is the moment you have been waiting for. Now is the time to completely accept your spiritual calling. Do not hold back any longer. You were chosen for a specific purpose, and it's time to tell the world about your concerns, doubts, and uncertainties. They no longer have a grip on you. God has chosen you, and that is all that matters. When you accept your calling and make it known, you not only change your life, but also the world. You are chosen. This is not only about you. It is about carrying out God's purpose on earth. Step forth with courage and confidence, knowing that the Creator of the universe is with you every step of the way. It's time to embrace your destiny, to proudly announce that you've chosen it, and to believe that God's will is being fulfilled in your life. The world needs to hear your tale. It is time to make it known to everyone. God is encouraging you more than ever to proudly announce that you have chosen this. You could have been holding back for fear of what others might think or how they would react. But God says it is time to tell the truth. No more hiding or second-guessing. The world needs to hear your proclamation. You were chosen for a mission larger than yourself, and it is your responsibility to assume that position. It doesn't matter who doubts or discourages you. The folks that mock you and wish to see you fail, they want to hear your voice the loudest. By stating that you have chosen this, you demonstrate to them and the rest of the world that nothing can halt God's plan for your life. This is your opportunity to shine, to stand tall, and prove to everyone around you that you are not average. You have been chosen by God. This is not a casual statement. This is a public statement of faith, hope, and confidence in God's time. It is a strong act of obedience that will silence your opponents and convince them that God's hand is on you. And when you expose this truth, it will unlock previously closed doors and remove hurdles that have been impeding your progress. God is aware of your problems, financial troubles, health issues, and emotional agony. But He says, "Don't worry. I've got you." Reveal your truth now, and watch as I disprove your critics. The instant you speak up, God will begin to operate in your life, demonstrating to everyone who attempted to keep you back that you are really chosen. You have been chosen, and now it's time to become public. It's time to announce it to everyone. To say it out loud and plainly. The truth about your chosen. This is not intended to be kept silent. It is intended to be broadcast for everyone to hear. God is inviting you to speak courageously, confidently, and with a faith-filled heart. You could be concerned about what others will say, but God is asking you which is more important, your fear or my plan. When you speak up, you aren't only informing others about your adventure. You are telling the world that you believe in God's plan for your life and that no obstacle, no matter how difficult or frightening, can stand in the way of His will. And yes, even your detractors, critics, and those who want you to fail must hear this message. Their uncertainty will not stop you. In fact, exposing your chosenness to them is precisely what will mold their ideas and cause them to rethink their assumptions. Remember that God knows every detail of your life. He sees your problems, pain, and concerns. He knows why you've been hesitant to admit you've chosen this because you're afraid of judgment, derision, or rejection. But God is saying, don't worry. It is my responsibility to prove them wrong. I will take care of the remainder. This disclaimer is not just for your benefit. It's for God's honor. Your obedience in speaking up will result in a miraculous alteration in your life. The instant you say it, everything changes. Observe how the atmosphere around you begins to change. You will watch suspicious individuals who formerly questioned you transform their hearts and minds to God's power and truth. God is not asking you to keep your chosen path a secret. It is not a private matter. It's a public fact that has to be shared with the world. When you tell everyone that you were chosen, you are not only revealing your purpose, but also praising God for His role in your life. It testifies to His faithfulness and the strength He has put upon you. The people around you deserve to hear your tale. Your detractors, mockers, those who have betrayed you and questioned your talents. Let them hear it and see how God has prepared you for greatness by making your chosen public. You are demonstrating that nothing can derail God's purpose. Their rejection will no longer have influence over you. In fact, your proclamation will be the catalyst for others to see God's action in your life. This public statement also serves as a key to opening previously locked doors. When you declare your chosen thing, God's will is bigger than any struggle, barrier, or constraint you confront. You are giving God permission to intervene in your situation and bring up possibilities you never imagined. God knows your dread of exposing that you have chosen this. You are afraid of retaliation, scorn, or rejection. But God promises you that He is with you. It is His responsibility to prove them incorrect and demonstrate that His plans for you are unstoppable. Trust Him and speak openly. Your truth is strong in this time. It's time to embrace the calling that God has put on your life. When you say that you are chosen, you are not just stating something about yourself. You declare God's power, favor, and will in your life. The world needs to know you've been chosen because your testimony will inspire hope, encouragement, and trust in God's magnificence. You may have some worries. What happens if they laugh at you? What if someone mocks you? But God says, don't worry about their opinions. This is about my accomplishments, not yours. You were chosen for this reason, and God is giving you the strength and confidence to say it aloud. Your detractors, critics, and those that want to see you fail, they need to hear your proclamation. This is not the time to pull back. Stand up, standing steadfast, announce your chosen mess. Let everyone know that you are following God's will. When you do this, you will notice a shift. People who previously doubted would be left stunned. They will be in wonder as God's power works in your life, and they will be compelled to admit the truth of your chosen. This God understands your situation. He sees your financial woes, your illness, and the burdens on your heart. But He is assuring you now that I have chosen you, and you have nothing to worry. Trust me to disprove your naysayers. God's purpose for your life is strong, and now is the time to share it with the rest of the world. When you confess that you have chosen this, you are actively engaging in God's divine will, not just making a statement of faith. You serve a higher purpose by expressing to everyone that you are meant to greatness and have been chosen by God. It's easy to hide your true feelings, to remain silent out of fear of repercussions. But God says it's time to speak up. Don't be afraid of being mocked or judged. By telling people about your chosen path, you're giving God the opportunity to step in and show everyone wrong. This public pronouncement is a testament to God's kindness and strength. It is a declaration that no matter what you confront or how tough the circumstance may be, you believe in God's purpose for your life. You were chosen. This isn't about you. It is about God's splendor shining through you. And when you declare this truth, you are inviting God to move in ways that will astound the world. God understands your anxieties. He understands that speaking up may make you feel vulnerable or exposed. But He's telling you, I'm with you. Do not be terrified. Step forth in trust and see how He will reward your obedience. There is a voice within you that has been aching to be heard. It is the voice of your chosen. This is the voice of your heavenly call. Now is the moment to let that voice reverberate throughout the world. Speak it aloud. Tell everyone that you were chosen by God. Don't keep it buried anymore. This is the time to speak your truth to the world with confidence and bravery. No matter who doubts you or who has mocked you in the past, now is the moment to reveal God's purpose for your life. When you do, you will see how your opponents are taken aback and forced to accept God's authority in your life. You were chosen. This will speak for itself, and nothing can stand in its way. God's plan for you is far larger than everything you've faced. He sees your hardships, grief, and obstacles, but He also recognizes the greatness He has instilled in you by stating that you have chosen this. You are aligning yourself with God's will and allowing His blessings to flow in your life. This is not only about you. It is about God's splendor shining through you. Fear will try to quiet you, but you have the strength to overcome it. God has given you the courage to stand up and reveal your chosen disease, and He will support you every step of the way. Your life is a testament to God's grace and power, and it is time for the world to witness it. When you confidently announce that you have been chosen by God, you are not only informing others about your path, you are demonstrating to them that God's plan for your life is unstoppable. When someone doubts or mocks you, know that your assertion will speak louder than their criticism. It does not matter who doubts you. It doesn't matter whether others think you're insane or don't believe in the calling God has put on your life. What's important is that you have been chosen by the Creator of the universe, and His intentions will always prevail. Your proclamation of chosen. This will be the thing that silences the voices of doubt and fear, both within and without you. God sees you. He understands your worries, limits, and the roadblocks you face. But He is telling you that I have chosen you, and I will show it to the world if you go out in faith and announce it openly. You enable God to act in strong ways that will astound your doubters as well as everyone you have chosen. This is an extremely effective instrument for God's glory. When you disclose it, God's will shines through you, inspiring and uplifting others. Continue living in faith and observe how God works in your life. Your journey is unique, and God has called you to share that truth with the rest of the world. It's time to quit hiding and begin revealing your chosen. This God has a plan for your life, and He wants you to walk ahead with confidence, knowing that His will is greater than anything you can conceive. When you announce your chosen myths, You are announcing your faith in God's capacity to do miracles in your life. This is not about arrogance. It's about obeying. God is calling you to speak up and let the world know that you have been chosen. Even those who have insulted, criticized, or wished you ill. Let them hear the truth. Allow them to witness the power of God's plan in your life. They may have attempted to keep you back, but God says it's time to unveil your true self. God is aware of your problems. He understands the financial burden, illness, emotional suffering, and terror that seeks to hold you hostage. But He is saying, don't be afraid. Trust me. I'll prove them incorrect. Your chosen declaration. This will open doors that no one can close, and it will silence the voices that have attempted to keep you back. When you step out in faith, you're not only sharing your personal path, you demonstrate God's power and capacity to alter any circumstance. Believe in His time and purpose, and see how your life changes once you declare to the world that you have chosen this. The time has arrived for you to make a pronouncement that will rock the foundations of your existence. You have been chosen, and God is asking you to tell the truth to the world. Your road has not been simple, but it has been guided by God's perfect plan. You will not only glorify God by expressing your chosen, but also your personal narrative and the challenges you have faced. Critics, skeptics, and mockers, they need to hear the truth. Show them that nothing can halt God's plan for you by expressing that you have chosen this. You are preparing the way for God to accomplish marvels in your life. This is your chance to show the world that you are defined not by the views of others, but by the divine calling on your life. God understands your innermost worries. He understands the challenges you confront and the reasons you have been hesitant to speak up. But He is assuring you that I will prove them incorrect. You are not the focus of your chosen. It's about my glory. When you go out and say it, the impossible becomes feasible. See how your life changes when you trust God enough to express your truth. His power will be obvious in all aspects of your life, and your statement will mark the beginning of a path of divine revelation and blessing.